Hello everyone, my name is Doug Tran, and today we'll talk about how biopolitics influence changes in the lithium-ion battery material industry. So the lithium-ion battery consists of a cathode, which is a lithium metal oxide, an anode, which is usually graphite, electrolytes, which are ionic liquids, and a separator, which is just a plastic polymer encasing to protect everything. And less importantly, it's also have aluminum, copper, carbon black, and binary materials in order to make the cathode materials. And on the outside of the cell, it has a battery management systems and also a cooling system depending on how much heat is released from the battery. So its applications is growing in these three main fields: transportation, consumer electronic devices, and grid energy industry. The driving factors for its exponential growth is because of primarily it reduces automobile exhaust. And then for cars, it lowered the gas emission and air pollution, as well as that it is much better than burning coal. And so lastly, it's conserved the natural gas that we have. And the secondary reasons is that it's more compact energy structure. And for people with electric cars, you would know that it costs less to refuel the car, and many more benefits depending on the applications that it's used for. So in the graph here, you can see that the projections of battery demand is almost tenfold by the time 2030 due to growing demand, EV mandate laws in California and also in China potentially in order to meet their zero carbon emission goal in the future. So the battery production steps. So if you look up online for battery production steps, you will see that these are the 6 main steps: making the slurry, coating it, drying it, pressing it, cutting it out, making assembling the cells from the cathode, the anode, electrolytes, and then filling electrolytes in it. But none of these steps are as caustic as step 0, which we'll talk about here, which is getting the materials. So the impact of step 0 is that in overall, it releases toxic waste into the environment, like organic liquids, strong acids and bases, heavy metals from the productions of lithium, and carbon waste from the productions of the anode graphite. It also contributes to the depletion of the ozone layer from the production of the binary materials, which releases chlorofluorocarbons, which some of you already know that it's harmful to the ozone layer. And especially lithium mining, as you can see from the picture here, they drain aquifers. They use tons and tons of water for lithium in order to mine lithium. And in the picture, each of these ponds have a higher concentration of lithium, and only in a few ponds that it is good enough to be sold. Yeah. It's also polluting the aquifers for nearby villages and for the populations of people that are depending on these aquifers. And secondly, metal mining, especially cobalt. So this picture here is from the Republic of the Congo, and it is taken recently in 2019. So they have a long history of informal child labor. And then lastly, material processing. So processing the materials can lead to aquatic and soil acidification from the releases of acid into the environment. And due to this, they can be harmful to the terrestrial ecotoxicity at large. Yet, even with all these concerns, lithium and metal productions will still have to grow exponentially to meet the zero carbon emission goal. And then the second problem with production of battery is that lithium and battery is considered non-operational after 8 to 10 years, according to the source I list below. And the graded battery is extremely hazardous to the environment, and tons of degraded batteries has been and is to be generated. The current effort in America, at least, is that improper disposal of old batteries is illegal. And then big companies like Tesla recycles part of their batteries to reclaim the expensive metals inside. The shortcoming of this is that people still throw batteries in the bin, and then recycling is inefficient, and the current recycling is inefficient, and because they use high pressure, high temperature, and also uses a lot of acids and bases in order to recover the performance of the battery. And now I'm going to talk to you about biopolitics. So biopolitics is a concept. The definition is a concept through which human life is managed by a respective authority. In a similar sense, life is the topic of discussion for biopolitics. In the modern day, biopolitics has been transformed progressively to include new spaces like race, reproduction, medicine, health, science, technology, and more. So how does biopolitics affect the industry? So the cost of it is that many reports on harsh labor and environmental consequences have been made, and lawsuits against big companies to stand against unethical producers. And voices are being heard in the court of law. Call for systematic change. So the source below, you can see that Apple and Google and many other big companies, big names companies, are being sued for their Congolese chocobo mining death. And the effect of this is that the Republic of the Congo has deemed child labor illegal. And many big battery materials dealers like Umicore, Tesla, Apple have declared a commitment to responsible sourcing. And then lastly, it raises the sustainability bar for the industry as a whole. You can see from the images here, I've snipped from this article. These are the quote of these companies showing that they are concerns of the child labor problem in the Republic of the Congo and the sustainability efforts. So more investments are being made into this effort than ever before. There are processes to make the recycling process closed loop that are new systematically established. And then we are transitioning to a more better materials, safer materials, and also renewable materials. And UCSD alone, these are the main 3 labs for battery storage materials and also battery research. The first one, they scale up closed loop recycling of battery materials. Second one, focus on solid state battery, which is, if you want to look more into it, you can look at the link, click on the link below, and it's like a lot better for the environment compared to the traditional liquid battery. And then lastly, the last one, focus on carbon neutral energy cycle of batteries. So here is an article made today that shows that UCSD San Diego received $2.7 million to manufacturing waste, e-waste. Yeah, so in conclusion, life has changed, and to change for the betterment of all, for the greater of environmental benefits are the goal of modern biopolitics. And thank you for listening. I have an email below, so if you have any questions, you can email me, and then here are my bibliography. Yeah, thank you for listening.